The women of Thailand are enchanting, with the beauty of jade and its texture. Smooth, cool, enduring. Their decorative roles explained by the yin-yang theory. A pair of chopsticks depend upon each other, though one's held steady while the other moves. So, says Eastern philosophy, man has the active role while woman is passive, firmly held. Once, around the time of Anna, the kings of Siam gave wives to warriors and statesmen for services rendered. And today, in this Buddhist land, woman remains inferior. Once married, she reverts to the legal position of a child, deprived on her wedding day of the right to administer or sell her own property. Her adultery is incontestable grounds for divorce, though she must accept her husband's. And however he behaves, she cannot risk leaving him since, as Thai men say, no one wants a second-hand car or a second-hand wife, even here. The tranquil, fragile subservience expected of Thai women in society was really laid on the line by their 18th century poet, Sun Hon Hu. He gave them 18 rules to live by. All of them seem eminently reasonable to me. I shan't go through the lot, but they start with, don't put on too much makeup. While walking, don't swing your arms, don't sway your breasts, don't run fingers through your hair, and don't talk. Be humble to your husband. Prepare the bed and don't let a speck of dust fall upon it. When your husband goes to bed, bow to him every night without fail. When he has aches and pains, massage him, then you can go to sleep. While sleeping, don't turn over or you may disturb him. Get up before your husband and prepare water for him to wash. While your husband is eating, sit and watch him so that when he wants food, he won't have to shout. And wait until he finishes eating before you eat. Well, all those rules seem eminently reasonable to me. For a wife, I don't think anybody's going to quarrel with any of that. Not Thai women, thank goodness. At least they're still docile. Yet now, stepping warily into a man's world, comes a new sort of boss. A delicate iron hand in a Thai silk glove. Without sacrificing that famous femininity, the women of Siam have taken to big business. Each day, 50,000 people depend upon Miss Supapan, who's 26 and went to school in Sussex. She controls almost all Bangkok's water transport. 3 navies worth around £300,000.
One is the ferry service, and the other is the taxi speedboats, and the third one is our boat charters, which is usually very profitable on weekends.
Is that one of your boats?
Yes.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
How many ones like that have you got?
24.
Ooh. Now, how many boats do you have and how many people?
We have about 64 boats and 300 employees working with us.
And I believe you've just taken over a government boat company.
These are the taxi speedboats. And
What made you decide to take that extra responsibility when they're building bridges now and that sort of thing here?
Because we feel that the ferry service doesn't have too bright a future now that the bridges are going up. So we feel that if we want to stay on the river, we should take up something which would keep us in the river, such as the speedboats.
Who decided that, you?
My mother.
Really? But when you took over this new company, didn't you find yourself with some sort of riot on your hands?
We did have some sort of problem, but we tried to talk to them and we reached a better understanding, and now it's all right. Now
What did you threaten to fire them, did you?
No, we didn't do anything like that. We tried to give them better pay, better security.
What do you think they think about having a woman boss?
They are used to it, I think, because my mother has been in this business for 30 years.
Why do you believe that Thai women do make such good businessmen?
I think because we have a lot of patience, and we have strong wills, and we're very determined.
Very what?
Determined.
Determined.
We have a way to get things done the way we want it. I think this is part of the technique, which is very hard to explain. In a way, you sort of become more pleading.
Become what?
You plead them, you know.
Plead? I see.
And you know, I think this way we gain a lot of sympathy, and we can communicate better this way. Yeah. And eventually we get the things that we want.
The technique is being soft outside and tough inside.
I think that's part of it, yeah.
On land, most of Bangkok's 2 million people are transported by the White Bus Line, which has 3,200 workers and an owner, Kun Ying, that's a title like lady or dame, Kun Ying Lersak Sombatsiri, who, behind a soft Siamese smile, hides an incisive business mind, as one significant friend has discovered.
Luckily, Lord Stokes invited me to lunch. He was very kind.
No, I'm
And-
sure he's kind if you're going
Yeah.
to buy a lot of buses from him.
But this time I didn't buy. I told him if he's not going to consider to set up assembly plant in Thailand, we have to stop buying Leyland.
How many Leyland buses have you got at the moment?
250,
And altogether, how many?
615.
Well, if you bought from Leyland, how many would you buy?
We wanted to buy 100 more, but unfortunately, because Leyland is trying to increase the price every time we order, so I have to decide not to order the 100 more.
Why did you decide to buy British buses now? I mean, why not Japanese? They're much closer. Or, I don't know, German or Italian. Or...
Well, because we like English buses, that's all.
When you go into your office, Kunying, every day, what actually do you do? I mean, you're the chairman of the board, you're the owner and the boss. What do you do?
Just sit there.
Well, that... Yes?
Well, I go in the morning about 9:30. When I arrive there, I think some of them are happy to see me there. Some are not happy because that means they have to work more.
I'm sure.
Yes. And the managing director, sometimes if he has problems, he comes to me and he asks questions. Or sometimes I talk on the telephone to all my friends. Despite such rare feminine weakness, Thai women make plenty of dough. The little home bakery has 200 employees, 5 restaurants, a pancake franchise and a boss, Mrs. Nanette.
We began with cakes, actually, and then the bread.
Now, why then have you gone into the property business and bowling alleys if you're doing so well out of cake?
Well, we thought that it was a good outlet for our products, having refreshments in everywhere.
Do you get more income from your property and your bowling alleys and things than you get from the cakes, or is this still the most important?
Oh, this is the builder of everything.
This is the most important. This is the sweetest.
Yes, it builds everything.
Now, as a very professional and skilled businesswoman, you have a husband who is also an executive in a flour company, I believe.
Yes.
Do you work together?
Well, for courtesy, I asked him. He's really my consultant. I asked him when I have problems in my machineries and all that.
For courtesy.
Sure. Yeah. Don't tell him that. He will kill me.
The 600-room Rama Hilton's run by Mrs. Sunirat, a determined 4'10", who's also busy in other fields.
Roads to improve
Building roads.
building roads,
Really?
the expressway,
Motorways.
waterways, and it's toll roads that we have in mind, which I'm now working on.
Really?
Yes.
Are you still dredging the rivers and that sort of thing?
No, they already finished. That.
You've done that?
Yes.
What about other things like, I don't know, steel mills or something like that?
Steel mill, you're
Yes, or
surprised.
mining.
Mining, yes. We have mining,
You have a mine?
yes.
Oh.
Small mines.
Such tycoons have left their husbands behind in the daily drive towards prosperity. For educated Thai men, chasing honours and titles, traditionally go into government or the army, leaving trade to Chinese merchants, finance to women. And today, as Bangkok booms, the bigger hotels are controlled by the sort of woman who's shrewd enough to play down her success, who never forgets to pass credit to her mild and shadowy husband. A carload of big shots hits town. Officers of the Thai Business and Professional Women's Association. Powerful ladies who seem so soft yet act so strong, who surely rate a salute. These are the shrewd company presidents, the ruthless proprietors. Their executive suite exudes an air of quiet, devout aggression. Such Oriental superwomen manage big business, so husband handling's no trouble at all. Kunying Somshri's husband's a meteorologist, and 15 years ago she decided to venture into property speculation since he was so poorly paid. She built Thailand's first high-rise apartment block, then supermarkets, bowling alleys, and the biggest Thai-owned hotel where she directs a staff of 500 delicately.
With the men, maybe you have to have some techniques in handle them.
Now, what are your techniques in handling?
Well, I just talk to them nicely and do not give a straight order. Be gentle with them and be reasonable. You must ask them for their opinion before making any decision. At least let them know that you also respect their opinion, you know. In that way that they will feel more willing to work and to cooperate with you.
Would you rather do business with another woman or with a man?
Well, I think for business partner, I prefer women.
Why?
Because you see, when you want to do something or handle something, you can go straight right to the point.
With a woman?
Yes, but for the man, maybe you have to think which way is better to approach him to get to your point, or to get things work out well the way you want it. You have to think, you know.
Here, obviously in the East, male pride is a more fragile flower, isn't it? Eggers are a little more delicate than ours. The other important thing for a businesswoman is to have an acquiescent husband, really, one who agrees with everything.
Yes, well, that's true. That's true.
So this is the era of the acquiescent husband, not the acquiescent wife.
Yes.
What about the tradition of the minor wife? Does that still persist?
Yes.
Now, would you, for example, invite a minor wife into your home?
Well, no, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
Because, of course, I do not want my husband to have a minor wife, and I wouldn't accept that then.
But a lot of women do, indeed.
Well, you know, that depends too, because some people, they have their own girl, and then again the parents select for them another girl to marry him.
Sometimes the first wife selects the second wife, I believe.
Yes, well, in that case it might be all right, but that depends, you know. But I think mostly that the social do not accept the second one, the minor one.
You're not thinking of looking around for a minor wife?
Oh, no, not for me.
I meant to ask you this when I was talking on the boat. Would you be prepared to be a minor wife?
I don't think so, never.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, I think it's miserable being a minor wife, because you can never be sure when how long he will like you for.
But do any of your friends, your men friends, have minor wives?
Many of the males I know have minor wives.
They do, but not living in the home.
Not living in the home, they live separately.
In the Ladies' Bank, they've done away with men altogether without losing business. In 7 years, their deposits are up from 3 million to 165 million baht. These women have got it all in the bag. One of the bank's armed guards, Mrs. Suda, a judo expert, recently chased a hold-up man who dropped his swag and came very quietly. She didn't even need to shoot him. In this first computerized branch, men are mere customers. Mrs. Puni controls a staff of 70 who can handle high finance, though minor chores are a bit of a struggle. What about your enormous safe? Can you open that?
Yes, we have two people.
Two girls?
Yeah, two girls together. Something like that.
And carrying heavy things about, I don't know, furniture, typewriters.
We have to try to carry away.
We try to work by ourselves, ready.
Yes, you're completely independent. With such shy locks, even an overdraft would be a pleasure.
Introduce you my assistant, Mrs. Pensaman.
Howdy there.
And my assistant accountant, Miss Ponpimon.
How do you do? This is the safe that you have to have two girls to open.
Yes. This is my accountant.
How do you do?
And here, my assistant accountant. And here, the checker.
How do you do? And this is your computer, I see.
Yes, yes.
A calculating woman's entitled to her own taste in pin-ups. And there's also a man on the banknotes, but it's still the ring-ed fingers that count. A silver spoon helps too, of course. The Queen of Thailand's cousin, Miss Sunida, educated at Cheltenham. They're all the upper-class women who are the Tycoons. Well then, they presumably know where the body's buried, don't they? They know who's going to sign the contracts and who to bribe, really.
You mean when they're in business?
Yes.
I suppose it's not so offensive for a woman to go and offer some money in her very nice way as it is for a man. It doesn't seem too businesslike if a woman handles it. She goes in and pretends to be very nice. Here's something for your trouble. And it doesn't seem too so offensive as if a man did it. So it may be like that.
The other thing is that the Thai women are always so clever at handling men anyway, aren't they? At looking after their amour-propre, that I suppose they can handle them in business as well as in private life.
I can say that the men, Thai men, are still have still got this chivalrous instinct for a woman, and they don't like to refuse a woman. They don't want to be rude to her. They don't want to turn her down because she's a woman of weaker sex, and it would be very ungallant if they did something like that. So they get on very well.
It would be ungallant to refuse a bribe. Then, how does a woman, when she's a tycoon, when she's running a big business, how do her methods differ from those of men? I mean, is she using sex appeal and feminine wiles, tears and tantrums?
Oh yes, female sex has definitely got a lot to do with it. I mean,
because
being female.
In the West, a career woman is usually synonymous with a woman who's fairly tough, actually, fairly aggressive.
I don't think any Thai woman wants to be tough or aggressive.
No.
On the front.
Well, how does she manage to be both?
Well, we have to be because we are second-rate citizens here, and if we want to do what we want, if we want to get what we want, we have to find some devious methods. It's born in us. We have to fight so many things that we find methods going this way and that way, that way.
Yeah.
So we become more adept at getting our own way without people feeling it too much. The law makes us a second-class citizen, but in real life we're not really. We're equal. We don't need things like women's lib. But
you don't have to burn your bras,
no.
But in the courts you are inferior, really.
Oh,
are you
definitely.
Not? Legally.
So. Particularly property. No matter how rich you are, your husband always gets it. When there's a separation, your husband has a share. It's property law, divorce laws. If a man is found committing adultery, his wife can't divorce him, but if a woman is found committing adultery, he can divorce her immediately. Even if he killed her, he would get away with it with a light sentence.
Ah.
Children go to the husband and things like that. But these laws are made years ago when women, ready to protect women because they didn't know how to look after themselves, presumably then.
Whereas today...
Today we're very independent. I don't think no woman needs to get married here. You can support yourself, you have a career, everybody works. I mean, every modern woman works.
How does your husband treat you, incidentally? I mean, your job, if it's contributing to the household budget, how does he feel about it?
He feels it's his, I'm his, so the my
Right.
Yes. But it's all quite liberal. We don't have to go through all these tedious bookkeeping methods. If I'm putting this much, therefore I'm allowed to spend more.
It's just simple, it belongs to him. That's very simple. So whatever the new tycoons have achieved, old customs die hard, and it remains a man's world. though his function's political and ritualistic. The rough jobs are handled, as usual, by the stronger sex. In this tropical land, more than half the labour force is female. Women fill an even more traditional role in the massage parlours and brothels of Bangkok. There are said to be 80,000 whores in this city, and women have just infiltrated another sporting scene. Miss Kanchana manages 20 boxers. It's like a woman running Joe Frazier or Arsenal. She's always at the ringside with a few womanly words of advice. And he did it. A business which boasts whatever men can do, we do better, is run by Mrs. Rosicol, who has 100 cars to rent. Another 100 went to her husband when they divorced. Since 1935, there's been a limit of one legal wife only for a Siamese man, though he can still register other marriages and can't be divorced for having minor wives, whose children will be legitimate if he accepts them. Another divorcee owns a model and dressmaking school with 650 shapely students. And, far more surprising here, the boss, Miss Spun, has dismissed 2 husbands, which must make some Siamese men look at her a bit sideways.
If they are really typical Thai men, I don't think they like me. But if the man who is well-educated and broad-minded, they don't mind. But most of them, they are scared of me, I think, because I'm afraid I get used to boss my people, so I will boss them too.
Yes, yes. Mind your drink.
Thai men don't like to listen to the woman. Just want the woman to follow what they think, you know. And this is difficult for me because I'm too much independent. I would like to do whatever I think is the best. I don't want to listen to anyone and follow anyone. I don't want to be the boss. But sometimes you forget yourself, you get used to it.
And you start ordering people about all the time.
Yeah.
Did you do that with your husband? Did you order them about?
He said I did, but I didn't know myself. Probably I got used to that. I didn't know myself. I said I didn't do it, but he said I did.
I thought Thai women were supposed to be very demure and quiet and stay at home and worship their husbands.
That's right. Most people, typical Thais still do, you know. But in Bangkok, right now, a lot of us study and go abroad, and when they come back, they want to do something, you know, better than stay home.
You see, this is when they divorce usually, isn't it?
Yes.
It seems that it's hard to be a good businesswoman and a good wife.
Yes, that's true, because we can't be the best in everything, you know. If you're good in business, how can you be a good housewife?
Now, do you find that there are many Thai women who have your ideas? You see, you seem almost like an American career woman to me.
Yes, I think so. Because I myself, you know, I'm not the typical Thai.
Not a bit.
If I want to do something, I think of myself. I think everything should be fair, not stick to the tradition.
You might have been better off if you'd had an arranged marriage, if your father had arranged it, instead of leaving it the choice to you.
Yes, that's what we believe in Thailand, but nowadays the people don't believe, because they want to do anything they like it.
Yes, but you did what you liked, and you had 2 bad marriages.
That's right.
Well, he couldn't have done worse.
But I still don't want to follow them. Because I can't force myself to do anything I don't like, you know.
But you're supposed to be shy. Why aren't you shy?
I used to be shy when I was young, but the business make me out of that. Because you know, it's so many things I have to do. If I'm shy, I can never do that.
King Chulalongkorn, who abolished Siam's slave system, only died in 1910. Today, in his memory, the young girls of this charming and delicate land are on the march. Thai women assume that natural, submissive posture. You'd never think to look at them that in a few years' time, they'll be running the place.